Hello, my royal lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. I just want to give my thoughts today on the Catherine video, the William and Catherine and the Wales family video that was released now a few days ago. So I think it's always really important to let things sink in, let the dust settle, contemplate things. Of course, there's always an initial reaction, and of course my reaction to Catherine's video is out there. But since then, I've had time to digest the information, and there was a lot of information. If you think about all the different video clips, images, the words, there's a lot to digest. And like me, I know that you have been digesting as well. And I have seen on social media people's comments and thought processes about everything. And I wanted to give my assessment of it. So a few days after, these are my thoughts about that video. I think we are seeing this symbiotic relationship between the royal family and the media in action, in real time. This is in live action time. If you cast your mind back to before Catherine revealed a little bit more information about her diagnosis, before the bench video, there was an absolute frenzy, a mainstream media frenzy, a social media frenzy. Everyone was sort of attack. And I wrote a song. My song on my Clutch My Pearls album called Leave Kate Alone was written about that obsession with people, but also that symbiotic relationship. What I mean by that is that the media and the royal family kind of coexist. They kind of sort of scratch each other's backs, officially and unofficially, to kind of get what they want. They both need each other. And in a world full of social media where the royal family are now actually taking control of their own social media accounts, which I'm actually in favour of. I remember years ago, because of course I've been doing this for over 10 years now, well, about 10 years. I said that the royal family should take control of their own, get a videographer, get a photographer, as well as using the royal rota. I think it's important to have all grounds covered, and people find their news these days not just from the mainstream media. They go to commentators, they go to social media accounts, they go to unofficial accounts, official accounts. So it's good to have a good mix, and being in control of taking the footage of your own engagements. I mean, you are there. So your team can have a camera or a video phone and take the images and put them out. Anyway, I digress. So I agree with doing that. But I think that this symbiotic relationship we are seeing in action. So the media backed off when Catherine released her cancer video on the bench. They backed off. And I think there was a bit of a behind the scenes deal done on that day. What I mean by that is there was a deal done when William and Harry were younger, after the death of their mother, to basically leave them alone while they were at school, as long as the media had access at certain key points. I think the deal was that the media would leave Catherine, William and the children alone during this period of her receiving her treatment, in exchange for eventually getting a level of access. Now, I think William and Catherine took the level of access to the extreme, because we were not expecting that video. If anything, I was expecting maybe a statement at some point, maybe a photo to go with the statement, but I was not expecting this kind of full-on production. I absolutely love the production. She looked absolutely gorgeous. They all looked stunning. It was like this ideal family stylized life. And I know that for a lot of people who are going through cancer, that is not the reality. You feel like absolute rubbish. You've been to hell and back. So, gliding through forests looking wistful is probably not on your agenda. But for Catherine, that was her reality. She was able to do that. And I know a lot of people on social media are saying, well, was it shot on the same day or blah, blah, blah. That to me is completely irrelevant. I don't care if it was filmed over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a couple of months, all filmed on the same day. It makes no odds to me. It's the sentiment. The sentiment is that they wanted to release information. I do think they are feeding the beast. I do think they are. In my song "Leave Kate Alone," one of the lyrics that I wrote was, "She sold her soul to the devil," and that is what the media is. They are the devil, and Catherine and William are now paying that price for the silence and the protection that the media did actually give them. So all of this nonsense about the British media being this sort of big bagged ugly beast. Now, there is a level of toxicity to it. I'm not saying that there's not, but the media will protect the royal family in exchange for that level of access at the point when they're able to do so. That point was now. And basically, William and Catherine gave the media a buffet, a visual audio buffet. Just think about how many, freeze frames you could do, and you could analyze each and every freeze frame until the cows come home. I mean, I've seen one person saying that in one freeze frame, Prince Louis's ear is lower than the other. It's just perspective, my loves. His head was slightly tilted to the camera, and because of perspective, things further away seem different sizes. There hasn't been any tinkering with Prince Louis's ears, not to my knowledge anyway. So a feast for the eyes, a feast for the senses, but I really enjoyed that video. But like I say, what we are seeing is this kind of payback in action. You scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. A lot of people are also saying on social media, the Sussex squad, yes, those. They are saying that William and Catherine have copied their idols, Harry and Megsy baby boo boo. No, they haven't. They've done it in their own way. And a lot of the time, basically, royals may seem like they are copying each other, but actually they're not. Take, for example, Princess Diana used to wear polka dot dresses and stripes and all sorts of things. Now, if Meghan or Catherine wear a polka dot, then they are emulating Diana, supposedly. What I'm trying to say is, things often do repeat themselves, and there are similarities and likenesses out there, and there is always going to be comparisons. William and Catherine were not forced to make this video. They've done it off their own bat. Like I say, they've hired social media managers. Their social media managers are doing their job. This is what they're paid good money to do, to produce video content. I actually quite like the kind of old-fashioned vibe that was going on. It's very September, it's very autumnal, so it's very of the moment. William and Catherine also updated their social media profiles with the photos and images. So I think it does herald kind of a fresh new start for the Waleses, which I think is quite welcome, because remember, this has been a year from hell for them, an absolute year from hell. So I think this is their way of saying, hey, we're moving forward. William and Catherine also chose this opportunity to update their social media sort of images. So they have gone with, family images for their X account, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it just symbolises a new era for William and Catherine and the entire Wales family. So, for example, on X, and I do believe on Instagram as well, they've gone for that beautiful photo of William and Catherine together, with Catherine tilting her head back, and then they've gone for the kind of family group photo for their sort of header, if you like, which I think is a really, really good choice. Very autumnal colours as well. Everyone's looking to get all cozy for September and October, Halloween and bonfire night coming up. So it really does kind of set the tone for the season ahead. Do I think we'll see Catherine back anytime soon to full-time royal duties? No, I think it will be a very, very slow process. Also, we see a continuation in the video of Catherine wearing her eternity band. It's been labelled as an eternity band, but we haven't had any official information from that. It's just what Everyone's calling it because it looks like one, so therefore it must be one, right? Diamonds looks to me like sapphires, but it could be something else. Not entirely sure. I have heard people say different stones. To me, to my eyes, it looks like sapphires, which kind of fits with the whole, that she could interchange it with Princess Diana's engagement ring, of course, her own engagement ring, which that became. So she can choose. I think we'll see Diana's ring on more formal occasions, but this is something that's a little bit more wearable, shall we say. William, on a recent engagement, also spoke to the crowds for the first time since Catherine's video came out, saying that she still had a long way to go. There's still a long way to go, is the direct quote. And I think that is quite pertinent because it shows that although she's finished her treatment, that obviously if they finish treatment, that means that they haven't found any more cells, or so we think. It just goes to show that they're not counting their chickens or their eggs before they've hatched. Does that make sense? What they're saying is, let's be cautious. These things can come back. They do come back. Lots of people who have had this experience will know this, unfortunately. So they've got to keep an eye. I think it's really, really a positive step for the future. But William and Catherine are not sort of out celebrating yet, so to speak. And I think that is very, very, very important to remember. The Prince of Wales also appeared in his element as he returned to the Royal Air Force College on Thursday to inspect the Sovereign's parade on behalf of his father, King Charles III. So William still has his beard. A lot of people thought that it was just a holiday beard. And I don't think it is, my loves. I think this is something that we might be seeing a little bit more of. And I remember in the comments of the video I made when he first sort of debuted his beard at Craffykirk Church up in Balmoral, a lot of people were saying, oh no, it's just a holiday beard. He'll get rid of it in due course when he's back to royal duties. It's here, and I am glad because Prince Hottie is most definitely back. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I quite like, a bald head with some fuzz on the face. I think it looks really good. It's definitely giving me, George V type vibes. I hope he grows it, long and pointy, just like, not like Charles I, but sort of more sort of George V style. I think that would really, really suit him. I'm loving the stubble. I say he most definitely should well and truly keep it. So, on this engagement, he has inspected graduates from the Commissioned Warrant Officers course and Modular Initial Officer Training course. You try saying that in a big hurry. It's a bit of a mouthful. He presented 4 awards before delivering a short speech to congratulate the graduates. He then saw the passing out of 48 Royal Air Force cadets, alongside 4 international officer cadets from Jordan, Kenya, Pakistan and Uganda. Following the parade, he joined the graduating officers, their friends and families in the college dining room to hear about their future careers and their experiences after the 24-week intensive training course. Of course, this comes after he appeared in public on Tuesday for the first time since Catherine's message. He travelled to Llanelli in South Wales for a solo visit after the princess said that she was looking forward to being back to work and undertaking a few more official engagements in the coming months. As I said before, he told well-wisher Pauline Thomas, who was aged 74, "It's good news, but there is still a long way to go." William also revealed, "I can't stop talking about helicopters and medical kits and all sorts. I'm sorry I take ages waffling about it. I miss it all. I'm quite keen to stay a bit longer. I'm thinking I might come back for a weekend at some point. I saw the Cardiff team a while ago and said to them, I'll come back and join them." And he was told that there were bigger wheels on the trolleys now, with the prince recounting the challenge of the old trolleys rattling around and the problems they faced getting them back into the helicopters. Of course, the trolleys being what the patients would be lying on. He said, "You've got better trolleys now, bigger wheels, off-road tyres, crucial, William said. Oh, I think that's quite sweet, actually. He's kind of reminiscing about his time as a search and rescue pilot. I mean, they were a lot simpler times. He didn't have the pressure of being the Duke of Cornwall and sort of being the head of managing that vast amount of land and money and all the rest of it. He wasn't the heir, the direct next in line to the throne at that point. His grandmother was still there. All of this must have seemed quite far away to him during that time. There wasn't all this trouble with Harry. Much simpler times. I mean, sometimes I think to myself, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to go back to 2015 and have the royals as they were in 2015 before she who shall not be named came on the scene and all the rest of it. It's all seemed to go a little bit downhill from there. But the one thing that we can say is that the royal family lineage is secure. We have the next in line, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, most definitely stepping up and looking like he could take it on now if it was necessary to do so. Although we're hoping that he gets a little bit more time to be a family man and be Prince of Wales. I think he needs just a little bit more time to kind of bed in. But then we have the next generation, we have George. So everything is looking very secure and rosy with that regard. We just have a few rogues, don't we? We have a few rogue members of the family out and about that could do with being brought to heel. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Right, I think I've waffled on. I haven't waffled, I've waffled on a little bit too much. So please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Share the video. It really does help if you share it on social media. Just, go to Twitter or X, whatever it's called these days, and just share the video. Share the link. Share the joy. Right, and share the accurate information. So from me, mwah to you all, and goodbye.
When she put on that ring, she sold part of her soul to the devil. Well, that's just terrible. Leave Kate alone.